Well, we're excited that signing day is underway today, and we're happy to announce 14 signees from the high schools, student athletes that'll be coming in, 5 that'll be mid-year enrollees. We're excited about all of them. They all have been loyal to us along the way. They're excited to be about being a Cardinal. They're looking forward to the future, and I think they'll all do a really good job. So it's important that we get them here, we develop them as much as we can, and get them ready to get on the field. But I think they all will be great teammates. They got great work ethic. They've achieved a lot in their high school career. They're excited about being here, and we're definitely excited about adding them to the mix.
What were your needs that you wanted to make sure you did a good job recruiting wise?
Well, I think in general, from the high school ranks, we want to recruit the best athletes we can at all the positions that we think will fit and can come in here and help us win football games. We definitely want to try to recruit the best student athletes from this state and the surrounding area and work our way south from there for the most part. But I think we got a good mix of a lot of different positions that can help us without question. The offense and defensive line, we want to make sure we invest in that and make sure that if we err on anything, we err on over signing at those two positions and, trying to be really good up front and strong in the trenches is important to us, and we want to continue to do the best job we can there. So I think, for the most part, through recruiting now in high school and in the transfer portal, we try to address all those needs.
You mentioned oversigning. How do you balance the portal and high school? High school still matters, and you still want to get some of those kids. How do you kind of balance it? And do you anticipate moving forward that it will change at all for you as far as your program? Signing 14 or 15 a year.
I don't overcomplicate the process. It'll change every year for us. We have a depth chart of our guys, and at every position. So we look at that, and who do we have coming back? Who has done a really fantastic job? Who needs to continue to develop and get better? What areas are we short at as far as numbers at those positions? And then we just go out and try to address it. So, there's always going to be a little bit of change with your current team. So you try to have a decent pulse of how you think that will play out. It's never going to be perfect. A few unknowns will normally pop up every now and then, but I think for the most part we got a good feel of who may be coming back. Building depth at all those positions. There's definitely ways that we want to just make sure that we continue to up front put enough emphasis on offensive and defensive line and making sure that we're as strong up there as we possibly can be.
Jeff, I believe I asked you this, excuse me, the day you were hired about this area, Jefferson County, and the surrounding within your usual radius of about 250 miles. I see you got a kid from North Hardin. I see you got a kid from Noblesville, which is right up from Indianapolis. Obviously you're going to continue to recruit those areas and hit those areas hard because in the past, I think some players have maybe slipped away and gone other places.
Right.
In this area.
Yeah, without question. This state, the surrounding area, we want to try to get in on every top prospect we can and convince them that Louisville is a great option for them to develop their skills, get a great education, and hopefully have a chance to play at the next level. And, I think that we definitely can do that. We've done it in a lot of places we have. A lot of top high school prospects from the surrounding area where we've been here and before have come and done a great job, and we've made them a priority. And we're going to continue to do that. And, not all of them are going to take us up on it, but I can tell you the ones that do, it'll definitely pay off, and we'll definitely make their goals achieve. We'll help them achieve their goals and get to exactly where they want to be. And, that definitely will happen, and we'll get extra emphasis from me and our coaches every year. At the same time, you want to have the best team you can, and you want to piece it all together. And there's a lot of good players all over the country, and we want to make sure we're on top of that as much as we can. And But I do think if we can recruit difference makers in the high school ranks, we can provide them with the early opportunity to get on the field and showcase what they're all about. We're going to work hard to do that, and we've done it before, and it's worked very well, and we want to continue to provide that for top prospects across this state and then the surrounding states as well.
If Deuce Adams committed in April, he then went out and had a really good senior year. What did you like, and then what did you see during the senior year? It seems like he got better and better.
Well, I think Deuce will be a great addition to our team. He's an athletic quarterback who can throw the football. He's played a lot. He works really hard. He comes from a great family. We'll need to get him here and just continue to develop him and get him, the proper weight and size and strength and, build to his body so that he can withstand hits and be durable throughout the season. But I think he's a really hard worker, and we look forward to getting him here as soon as we can. I think he'll come in and compete and jump right in with the others, and we'll see where he stacks up. But we like what we've seen from him, and I think he's a very competitive young man that has talent.
Jeff, to go back to just the local players, what did you see in particular from Sean Boykins, and I guess what qualities did he stand out?
Well, we really like Sean Boykins. He's a natural athlete. He's a strong young man. He's put together well. He competes. He's really good at a lot of sports, football, basketball, track. And that's always impressed me when they can do more than one thing and they are competing on a daily basis and they're trying to be the best on the football field, on the basketball court, and on the track and field. So we really like him. I think he'll add a ton of value to our team. He'll come in and compete right off the bat. Just us getting him up to speed as far as the terminology, the speed of the college game will be important. See how he progresses to that. But he's definitely played a lot of really good football and basketball and just done a lot of competitive things throughout his career. And, he wants to be here, and, I think he can do a great job for us.
Yeah. The recruiting world is so hyper-covered these days, and 3 stars, 4 stars, and all that stuff. There are 3 stars who become NFL players. There are 5 stars who bust out. When you are looking at guys and evaluating, what are the main things that you're looking for on tape or when you actually see them in person that entice you?
Well, you're correct. There's a lot of young prospects out there that may not get the high stars that people want to give them, but are really good players. And when you research them and find out about them, they're hard workers and they have a great background. And there's a lot of players, just like you said, that will play at the next level and be very effective and play for a long time because they've been grinding the whole time and they're always out to prove themselves and they never think they've arrived. And you have to look for those traits in these young men. You're not always going to find them, you're not always going to be right, but you got to look for them because there's a ton of really good players that may not be all over Twitter and social media right now, but I don't care, and I know our coaches don't care. We're going to watch the video. We're going to get a chance to know them and their family. We're going to see what they're made of. We're going to talk to their coaches, anybody else we can at their school, and find out what they're all about. And a lot of times we feel more confident bringing in young men like those than others that have, read their press clippings for a long time that, we're not for sure of. It sounds great with the stars they have, but we're not quite for sure about how that will fit. And so I just think you got to do your research. You got to put in the time. There's a ton of great players across the country, and a lot of guys that maybe just need a little more physical development and seasoning, but they have the it factor. And if you do your research enough, a lot of times you can kind of dive into that and get a good feel yourself that, I think this young man can be really, really good. Maybe not right away, but maybe in a year or two. And you got to go with your gut.
Jeff, kind of going back to Deuce's 2-part question, I'm just curious how much success you've had in the past recruiting the state of Texas, and being that it's been a while since Louisville's had someone from Texas sign, how much do you feel like that's a precedent to kind of establish, I guess, a presence there?
Well, I think there's talent all over. At Purdue, we recruited quite a bit in Texas, so we do have some ties down there with some of our coaches and some relationships we built. We'll continue to, scour the whole area. We definitely have connections in our state and surrounding states and going down south, all the way down into South Florida, and feel good about the success we've had there. But, there's guys all over. And I just think all these coaches have connections and relationships. when you get contacts and when you get some information on people, we're going to research all of it and kind of see where it goes. And if we have a chance to compete for young men in maybe certain states that we haven't spent a whole lot of time in, we're definitely going to do it. And we're open to it. And sometimes for quarterbacks, you got to go all across the country to get what you think is a good fit. So we're excited about opening all those doors.
Jeff, now with the transfer portal, especially with some of the higher rated recruits, it feels like if they don't play early, there's always a chance that they could go elsewhere. How do you balance the realistic nature as a coach being like, hey, you need some time to develop and we'll get you there, with their aspirations to want to try and play as soon as they can?
I think being honest with these young men and how you see things playing out and the work you're going to put in with them and the opportunities you're going to provide for them and showing them how you can get that done is important. But I think everyone knows now winning is very important, and winning now is very important. And we want to have a great mix of guys that can come in right away, that have experience, that have played a lot of football at the collegiate level, and that can help our team win right now. There's a lot of really good players on our team right now that want to win, and they want the best teammates around them, and they want competition as well to bring out the best of them and in their team. So we're going to do that. And but there's always really good high school prospects that maybe some can come in and compete and earn a spot. Maybe others, it takes a little time. This past year, we had one young man that did not, so to speak, redshirt. And he wasn't a starter, but he played for us, and he's going to be a really, really good football player. But it just takes time. This is a competitive game that you're playing at a high level, and sometimes certain transfers will have a little bit more of an experience factor that can help you immediately get on the field.
Jeff, obviously it's important to kind of recruit this county and kind of some of the surrounding areas, but how important is it to continue to cultivate the recruiting hotbeds in South Florida and Georgia, not only in this cycle, but since you got here and moving forward?
I think we've worked hard at getting down to areas that we've recruited well in the past. I think we've been in them. We've communicated quite a bit with all those coaches and people in those areas. We've been in them with myself and our assistant coaches, and we've recruited hard. And I still think that we've got a good good knowledge on certain areas, maybe more so than others, that we feel really good about, that we can compete against anybody for those young men that we want to be a part of our program here at the University of Louisville. I think that from those areas, a lot of people have already come here in the past and done well and had great success, and they understand that, and that matters. It's one thing to talk a big game, but you got to be able to back it up. And to me, how you back it up is with facts and figures and with experiences that actually happened. So that's how we try to do our recruiting. If there's something that we can show that isn't just lip service, we're going to show it. And to me, for a recruit, that should mean more. Has this happened before? How have you done it? Show me how you've done it. Because a lot of people will give you a lot of lip service and tell you you're going to change this and that for a recruit to come there, and that's not really the case. So I think we want to be as honest as we can, and we've tried to do it that way. And I think because of it, we've gotten pretty good results to this point.
Jeff, the two running backs, Isaac and Duke, both not only put up a lot of yards, they did it against really good competition. Can you kind of speak to what you like about both of those guys?
Well, we really like both of our running backs, and they're both very talented players. Isaac Brown is really dynamic. When you go into South Florida and you ask other coaches, they're going to mention his name a whole lot. He's produced against very good football teams. I believe he's gone to 2 state championships in a row and had to play, I think, Aquinas both years, and that's hard to do. But he's put up numbers every time he steps on the field. Will he have to put on some weight and some muscle mass? Sure, but he can run fast, and he can make moves, make guys miss, so we're excited to get him. Duke is really talented as well, and he comes from a great family that is hungry to get somewhere and prove what he's all about. He's got to continue to add some strength and weight as well, but he's very dynamic also. I mean, just can make guys miss. He's elusive with the ball in his hand. He's put up really good numbers. Both these young men have played a lot of football for their high schools, have put up really good numbers each and every year. They've been durable, so we're excited about both those running backs, and both will compete this first year for a spot.
Jeff, this past weekend, I remember Jeff Wall saying, about these players. They come in, so many of these players, they just want to know how much money they can get, and the portal and navigating NIL and all that stuff. How difficult is it? I mean, you guys did great this past weekend and the week past about the portal, but how difficult is it to navigate all of that stuff?
Well, there's a lot of elements to the portal now and to recruiting that weren't here in the past, and all you can do is the best job you can. But every recruit has different reasons when they want to switch to schools. In the end, I think it's important that we provide them an avenue to reach their goals on the football field and hopefully winning games and playing at the next level. So I think we try to emphasize our ability and our work ethic to get that done for them and to help them improve their livelihood by reaching those goals, because those are really, in the end, the ultimate goal you have. So I just think, yes, there's a lot that goes into it. Each person's different. You kind of have to just do your research and see exactly what they're looking for and how can you help get that done for them and go from there. But, there's just it's a more extensive process than it's ever been.
Do you? This might be a ridiculous question, but do you ever take an off day from recruiting?
Well, I think.
How many hours do you spend actually doing that during the day?
Well, without question, recruiting with all the elements that are part of it now is way more time-consuming than it even ever has been, especially for even a head coach. So there's a lot that goes into it, and without question, you surround yourself with great assistant coaches, great recruiting staff. You all have a part in it. You communicate. You're talking to people constantly. You're getting a feel of how things are going in the right direction, the wrong direction. How do you adjust? What's your backup plan? What's your third option? And it's just a long process. And if you get frustrated with it, or if you say, "Man, what's this? Is kind of some crap here," you're going to lose time. And we want to just stay to the grind, get up to speed on as much as we can at all times. Everybody's a part of it. While today's important, the transfer portal is important as well, and that's continuous. Even though the openings to go in it are shorter, it's really continuous until fall camp and up to fall camp. And we've had success late in the process at other places I've been as well, and even this past year, where you got to stay on it. And so it's just part of the game, and that's why you talk to a lot of your NFL friends in coaching, and just to do ball all the time is a lot easier than having to do ball but spend so much time in recruiting. And you have to, in football, you have to recruit such a vast amount of people because you don't know what you're going to get, who you're going to get, and there's so many positions that you have to take into account. And that's what makes it a little tiresome and a little tedious, without question. But at the same time, we got to get ready for a game. We've got to win our bowl game. We've got to prepare for that. And that's very important to us. So we want to make sure we grind through that all the way through the bowl game. And then when that's over, then we can get back to, focusing most of our attention on finishing out, the recruiting process and staying on top of it.
For this particular class, what did you find was the the prevailing theme, or some of the reasons why they signed? Was it the coach, the program, expectations of winning, and how much are you having to sell the program?
Well, that's the thing you have to figure out on each and every recruit. They all have different reasons for coming now. It's not always 100% football related. There's other elements to it. But at the same time, in the end, you want to help them achieve their goals on the football field. And we think we provide a great plan for that. We try to give them examples of how it's worked in the past for numerous different people and what we were able to do. We show them facts and figures and on things we've done before, so it's not lip service. But you gotta help them achieve all their goals. And I think our brand of football and this brand at our university is great across the country. People are very aware of Louisville football and Louisville athletics and the city of Louisville and what it's all about. So I think there's a lot to sell here. We've got a great stadium, great fan support, people that want to see teams compete at a high level. So I think it's a huge plus that we've got to sell all those strengths, package it together with our coaches and their personalities and what they can do for them since they're with them every single day, and how we're going to make sure we're invested fully in making sure that success happens. And I just think in the end, you want to be as honest as you can, and you want to get the right people that feel comfortable and that they're ready to grind this thing out and try to go win a bunch of games and achieve their goals. And if you do that, you hope that the best things can happen.
Jeff, kind of a two-part. Getting Messman out of Michigan, one of the best players out of Michigan, Louisville hasn't had a ton of success. You like that type of tight end. Can you just speak to him a little bit? And then offensive line, are you looking for bigger guys? Because it seems like you have recruited the guys here that are just bigger, taller, and thicker.
Well, with Dylan Messman, we really like his potential. He's an athletic young man who can run and catch and really love his family as well. They're great people. It was great to get to know them throughout the recruiting process. They've been down here numerous times. He's got a ton of potential if he continues to put weight on and develop. But we're excited about him, and we think how fast I don't know, but I think he can compete this year, and we'll see where his body gets. But very talented young man. As far as the offensive line, size is important. You want them athletic and tough and smart, but if you can get big guys that do that, it definitely can help. And I just think, in football in general, but the running game and being able to knock people back and be physical at the point of attack and swallow people up with your size is important. So, I think we've had pretty good success. We're excited about Jimmy and Fred on the offensive line from the high school ranks, and we're continuing to piece together the team with others out of the transfer portal that I think can come in and help us win football games. And we had success last year, adding some really good pieces. Definitely Willie Tyler at the left tackle and Eric Miller at the right tackle in itself at the tackle position helped us. And then we had a couple others that have been beneficial. But, you just got to examine the roster and have a plan to get it better and have a plan in case some things happen that are unexpected. And I just think that we've been pretty prepared to try to get that done.
Jeff, on days like today, we're always looking towards the future, but I guess taking a step back, it's been just a little over a year since you were hired for this job. So reflecting on the players that have come through, the way that you've gone about your business here, and seeing this new class come through, what have you learned about yourself through this process, and kind of learning how to sell the university? How has that looked for you over time?
Well, believe it or not, I think it's kind of come very natural. I feel like I have a great grasp of this university, this city, our football team, our fan base, and knowing what they want. I think it's important that myself, our coaches and players are very competitive, that we're willing to put in the work, that we understand if we want to get to where we want to go, it's going to take a whole lot of work, and everybody's got to do their part. But if you're willing to grind and if you're willing to get up off your feet when you slip and fall occasionally and go right back to work and not give in, great things can happen. And we were able to do a couple really good special things this year, and then we were able to, a few things slipped away from us. So you got to, try to improve each and every year, and you got to try not to make the same mistakes, and you got to try to continue to raise your level of play. And I think that's just a burning desire you have to have inside of you. I think we've had a very competitive football team. They were unselfish. They played hard. They wanted to win, and we got to continue to build on that. But, obviously competing at a high level, getting to championship games, getting to the playoff, all those things are what everyone's striving for. And, we want to do the same thing. And I just think we can't waste a whole lot of time ourselves talking about it. We got to put in the work, and we got to know that this now has become a year-round deal where you can't take a whole lot of time off. You gotta do all the small things that lead up to winning, and there's a lot of things in college football that goes into it. from the recruiting aspect to the development to the competitive aspect to the providing an atmosphere where guys want to work hard and are willing to go the extra mile. So those are all things that I feel good. We're going in the right direction. But there's other good football teams out there as well, and I'm sure they're going to work hard just like us. So we have to do our part, and we've got to learn to compete and win as much as we can.
Jeff, I think you kind of mentioned a little bit, but just with, schools using NIL as an incentive and also with how easy it is to transfer, is it harder now to convince high school kids to come in and get developed as opposed to playing right away, or how do you just, kind of handle those conversations?
No, it's definitely harder, without question, because there is so much more that goes in the dynamic of recruiting, and each family and individual and player and coach and the people that represent them are all different. So you just try to get a good feel of what they're looking for and help them get to that point. So, yes, it can be a little tricky, and there's more elements now that factor into it. But you know what? I think we all understand what people are looking for. They're looking for success. They're looking for answers right away. They're looking for the ability to get on the field, or they're looking for how can I make the most for myself in every aspect. So we try to give them that information, do what we can for them, and show them examples of what we were able to do with other guys in the past and how it's worked here and the steps they took to get to that point. And it's just, it's a long process, but I think we have a good grasp of what everyone is trying to get done, and I think we can get that done here. Thank you.